We'll just jump right into it. There's a lot of small discounts that you can get. Here is a list of all the best deals that we found on Tesla vehicles, Model 3, Model Y, S, and Model X. And if you use this and plus use like a Tesla referral code, just like the one down below in the description, so you can get an extra $1,000, you can get not necessarily close, but at least you can get somewhat better than what the Tesla lease payment on the website is. And the key thing here is trying to find inventory vehicles that might exist, because when you lease a payment or when you lease a Tesla, that's going to get you a lower payment than financing or anything like that. And some of these vehicles, you can actually toggle the lease right here on a inventory search to see which vehicles actually qualify and which vehicles do not qualify. Unfortunately, a lot of vehicles that do have an inventory discount might not actually qualify on a lease, and so you do have to be wary about that. But the one thing that does qualify and that you can get the full $7,500 is if you lease a Tesla vehicle that is applied. But I'll stop wasting time because there really isn't much more secret to this. But here's a post that we found on Reddit from Tesla Model 3 from Ashley Smells, and I guess they titled this, "Since we're posting leases, here is the actual breakdown of a Tesla vehicle at a low $195.89 a month." You can see that's a crazy payment for a 36-month lease. When you do lease, if you didn't know, there actually is an interest rate as well. It's called money factor. And how to calculate that if you are going to be planning to lease, you basically take this small number 0.002620 and times it times 2400, and that gives you the interest rate. We've already done this on this one, and this interest rate on this lease is 6.28%. So you can see when you lease a vehicle, it is a higher interest rate than 1.99 or 2.49 or even 3.99. And so here's the actual breakdown. One thing you'll notice really quickly is that the cash down payment is a staggering $15,806. And you might be thinking, oh, that's a ton of down payment. That's kind of crazy. Like, who would ever do that, and why would you ever do that? Well, if you take a look even lower, this person is actually not putting that much down at all. You can see that they're only putting $853 down. And the two things that stack up to that massive down payment is A, the $7,500 federal tax credit, and B, a $9,000 EV incentive. And so digging into this a little bit more, we actually are able to find out that this person is actually in the Washington state area. And so right now there's massive incentives in various states. Really, the first two is Washington and of course Colorado. And so if you're interested in figuring out which sites have a good incentive, we talked about this earlier today on today's stream. So you can see and find that website. It's called like EVs for All, that gives you the breakdown on where which incentives have the big incentives. It's like New Jersey, Washington State, and Colorado. But still really crazy to see that people are in those states are able to get some crazy low lease payments on Tesla vehicles. And so if you're wondering like, hey, can I just like go to Washington or go to Colorado and buy a Tesla and drive it back? Unfortunately, how it works, it's based upon where you register or where you live essentially. So unless you've got an address in one of those states where you claim residency, then you will not be able to get the incentives that this state actually has. California has like a low income one, and actually that's what was posted on here, a low income one as well. There is a low income one like Clean Cars for All, but I think what I've heard recently is that ran out of funding or is like really hard to actually get. And so unless you actually truly are low income out there, but definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you're thinking.